This is a drawing that young Ward did approximately 11 years ago, and I think it's about time we give him an upgrade. So hi everyone, I'm Ward and welcome to my channel Wardrawsalot, and this week we're going to be redrawing an old OC that I did from junior year of high school. If you've seen my last video, you know that I actually went through my junior year sketchbooks and I let you guys pick which of the characters I should redraw, and he won the poll. I'm kinda glad he won the poll too, because like, I was low-key hoping he would win, you know, because I didn't want to draw the other ones. But I wanted to give the illusion of choice anyway. So as per usual with every single video I do on here, except the really old ones, I draw the character off screen because that's like a lot of pressure on me, and I'm kind of not down with that, so I just do it off screen. So I sketched out this little portrait of the face of the character, and then the actual character on the right, which is the recreation of the drawing. Now, before I dive into the remade drawings over here, let's go back to the old drawing and kind of walk through what we got going on here. So from what we could tell here, it's definitely a cat boy, right? That's just off the bat. He's got like this really rich bluish purplish hair. I think I had mixed the blue and the purple together by just kind of layering them on top of each other for his hair. His ears are kind of wonky. I don't think I ever get better at that. I'm just gonna be honest. I think the ears here were wonky too. We'll just say it pays homage to the original, right? We'll get away with that. The eyes are like this really lime greenish color, and they kind of got like the cat eye going on, so I remember to kind of incorporate that into the character. The skin it looks like it's on the tanner side, and I say that because the Crayola color pencils, I think I had the 12 pack at that time, only really had like 2 or 3 different skin tones. You had like beige, and you had like tan and brown. So so of those 3, it could only realistically be the tan shade. So I made sure to keep that skin tone as alike as possible, but with actually giving it some depth when I'm recreating it, because it's a very flat, solid color that you got going on there. So here it's much more lively and 3D. Now, on the character's face, you have these really intense pink blushies, okay? And admittedly, they don't match the skin tone very well, because, you know, depending on who you're coloring in, you kind of have to match the blush accordingly. For paler skin tones, it would be pink. For like a tanner skin tone, you could have a pink, but it would be a darker pink, or maybe like an orangey blush. And then for darker skin tones, deeper ones, would be pinkish purple, and it could even be a red, and so on, right? It could be very different and vast according to the skin tone, and you can honestly make any blush work for different skin tones, but you just have to be realistic and think like how it could work. As long as it doesn't look weird on the character, that's like kind of what my brain goes towards. So with that in mind, and redrawing the OC, I made sure to keep in the blushies just because it makes sense. It's literally like a huge part of his character that he's like this shy cat who's kind of covering his mouth, blushing, and waving hi at you. So it only makes sense for me to keep that really intense blush effect on his face. Now we come down to the clothing option that we have here. For the redraw, I did not change a single thing when it comes to clothing. I usually don't, and whenever I do my character redraws, I try and keep it as like original as possible, for the sole factor of seeing how it would look in my style now, and because I think it's nice to kind of recreate what I was thinking back in the day. So like this hoodie that zips up diagonally, I don't think I would ever even, you know, like draw that now. I just wouldn't. It's not something I would go for. So to see that like my mind would go to something like that, or was much more creative or lenient with fashion, I guess you could say. Lenient is a very strong word. I was much more happy to interpret different things in a style that I would like to see, and this was one of them. I don't know if this thing necessarily exists, nor do I know if it existed 11 years ago, but I know that when I drew that, I was like, oh my god, this looks so cool. And now I'm like, practically, I don't know if that would work. It would probably be really annoying to try and zip up and zip down. He also has these suspenders on, which is like, why would you wear them anyway if you have, number one, no shirt on under the hoodie? And number two, if like there's no real point to them. But I remember I always just drew suspenders on characters anyway, just because it would be an extra accessory and it would look cool, and you know, it was edgy, and I was like, yeah, this looks awesome. I don't do that anymore, you know, because I'm older now, so of course I wouldn't. The pants are like these black and white striped pants. I think that they were like everywhere at some point, these kinds of pants, and I just remember really liking them, and I couldn't get them because number one, it was broke, number two, I didn't really get to buy many clothes growing up for various reasons, so I remember just trying to incorporate a bunch of different fashions in my art because of those reasons. The belt, it's not me if I don't draw a belt that's not needed, you know? Like, like nobody's gonna wear a belt for no reason except the characters that I drew from younger years, and that one, which really didn't make any sense besides the fact that I think it was for the sole purpose of matching it towards like the pink for the blush and the green for the eyes. That totally wasn't necessary to do. I don't know why I thought I had to do that, but I'm guessing that it's just that when it came to putting the belt in, I knew it couldn't be a black belt because the sweater was black, so it would look weird, and I don't know if I wanted it to be white. It would probably look too plain, so what I did was just match the pink to the blush and then the green to the eyes, and I was like, yeah, this is genius, why wouldn't I do this? Last but not least, we have the tail, which just matches the color of the hair, and what I did was I looked really hard at the drawing because I was like, what is that thing on the tail? And then I remembered that I had put a ring there, or like some kind of accessory, whatever. I'm pretty sure it was like a piercing. And I was like, okay, now I gotta make sure I put the piercing here on the tail. I think the only thing that I really did different on the character was I gave him an ear piercing, and the old one did not have that. So that's probably the only difference that I see here amongst everything that I recreated. So that was basically everything about the character and how I have translated it in my current style. Before anything though, can we please have a moment of silence? That hand right there looked really, really good before I inked it, and it kind of hurts. Looking at it now, I'm like, damn, that was a good hand. And then my hands came in and ruined it, so I'm pouring one out for the hand. Now, a little bit on how it was to redraw this. So usually whenever I redraw my old OCs, I actually have a pretty pleasant time. Things go nice and smooth, and you know, I don't want to tear out the pages in my sketchbook, but this time this time I wanted to do just that, right? For some reason, redrawing this character was so difficult for me. I don't know what it was. I honestly think this was one of the cases of those things that you can do in that time, and it's only in that time, right? Obviously I recreated it and it looks just fine, but this is like after like drawing this character 10 times. You guys have no idea how many times I would erase and come back and be like, no, this doesn't look right, this looks weird, and blah blah blah, and it drove me insane. I literally at one point I was like, should I even do this video? I was like, this looks like trash, bro. What is going on with me today? I literally erased so much that it ruined the paper, and you know, since I'm really cheap, I don't want to use a new piece of paper. So now, like, where his face is, which is like the worst, right? You don't want to have like the shitty part of the paper by his face, but of course that's where it was. Right on his right eye, the paper was like kind of torn. So I had to be careful when coloring his eye in because it could easily look weird because of the torn piece of paper that was there. And I was just like trying my hardest to be as careful as possible without messing anything up with this drawing, especially because like the paper was already beaten up. It was it had took a real beating from me already, and it was like, please no more. And I was like, watch this, and I just started punching the paper, right? I was like, yo man, I'm having a real tough time with this, and I don't know what it was. It could honestly be that I was just like off my game. Sometimes if I'm not like 100% in the mood to do something, it just like doesn't go as smoothly as I would want it to because of that reason. And then on top of everything, right, I was already feeling iffy about this left side of the page right here. I was already like, this could be better, but I was like, you know what, it's not that bad, I'm beating myself up. I went ahead and messed up the lips, right, and I was like, man, I was like, come on, bro, give me a break. So as I was lining the lips, I don't know what happened, but I think either it wasn't focused or someone was talking to me, and I just, like, I did it at the same time. And I was like, damn, I fucked that up. And I made the line way too thick for the bottom lip. And I was like, okay, let's try and fix that. Whenever I say that, that never goes well, by the way. I don't know why I keep doing that. It's like a cursed phrase, and I just bring it into existence every time. And it just ends up in complete dookie buns doo-doo, alright? There's just like nothing left after that. I tried to blend it out with a brown marker and kind of make it look like a brown lip gloss kind of thing going on. Didn't make any sense, didn't look too, well. I was like, the more I was looking at them, I was like, yo, should I just completely take this part out of the video? And then I was like, no, I can't do that. I made a deal with myself when I started this channel that I was like, I'm not gonna leave out the bad stuff because it's progress, it's something that people need to see, that no one's perfect when they draw, and I should not get rid of something just because I don't like it or it doesn't look whatever. It doesn't mean it's bad, it just means that I messed up, and that's okay. Now we come over to the right side of the page. I honestly love how this recreation turned out. I think he looks really cute. I think it captures like the same amount of vibe, the same amount of vibe. How is there an amount to a vibe? Can we measure that? As I was saying, I think it captures the same vibe as the old drawing, and it kind of gives off this really cute like presence, the little wave along with the tail, and like both like the wave lines and the waggle tail lines kind of like bring that into. I made sure to give some kind of props in the background as well, because the drawing looked really empty, like dumb empty. So I had to put like something to fill it in. So I put like a little mouse toy, tuna, fish bones. That's supposed to be like a ball for the cat to play with, but like the way I lined it, it looks like a pink olive, and I was like, you know what, bro, it's a pink olive, fuck it. I was like so done already at this point, even though I loved the way he looked and everything, which by the way, as you could tell, I did mess up that hand. I just kind of went in and fixed it with some white gel liner. I hoped that that would work. Did it? I don't know. It happens, what can I say? Finally, we have me taking my silver gel pen and then kind of coloring in all the silver parts. So that would be the tail piercing, ear piercing, and the zipper as well. I always like kind of adding some kind of silver or gold element and then using those gel pens because I like the texture that it gives, and it kind of makes it a reflective surface, and it just looks like a nice accessory to everything. But with all said and done, I did both drawings, and I honestly like how they came out. The left one, I'm a little iffy on, I'm not gonna lie. He got a square-ass chin, I don't know about that. But the recreation of the drawing on the right looks absolutely adorable. I love him, he is just the cutest thing in the world. I can't wait to do more old OCs and redraw them, because that would be really fun. So yeah, thanks for watching, and remember I love you. Bye!